Mic check, mic check, mic check. All right, let's go ahead and get on in here. Howdy y'all, this is Wes, and welcome to another stream. So, don't really have any plans for today. It's kind of a blah day out, so I decided, you know what, why not, I don't know, why not stream? It's kind of a comfy vibe. Got a lot of rain, got some candles going, so yeah, it's just one of those Fridays, right? And it's supposed to be super hot next week, so gonna enjoy the last of the spring weather while I can, I guess. But yeah, I don't really have any plans. I've been leveling this alt here. I have like so many alts. This is like the fourth time I played through the MSQ, right? But I've mentioned before on stream that I really wanted to get good with Black Mage. I have Black Mage at 80 on my main, but I always find that the best way to kind of learn them is always to just level them from scratch if you've forgotten. Plus, I always need more RP alts. So yeah, I figured I might play this for a little bit, and then I don't know, hop over to Kyra and yeah, maybe play some Crystalline Conflict or something. I haven't really played a whole lot since I got into Crystal. I thought about ranking up and maybe trying to get the top 100 or whatever, but it's just a lot of games, man. It's a lot of games. You know, I think the baseline right now on Crystal is 2200. You know, the top end still hovers between like 5500 and 6000. That seems to be the #1 spot, and it doesn't really move a whole lot. But the bottom end to crack the top 100 really is just a lot of games. I mean, you're talking, God, to get 2200 points, you've got to have a decent win streak, and you're talking probably at least 50 games. So, I mean, I might peck away at it, but really it was just the crystal frame that I wanted. And now that I have that, I've kind of eased up on it. But I have been playing quite a bit on my alts just because it is a fairly easy way to level, which is really nice. A lot of tomestones and stuff. So I have another alt, my Vieira alt that I've been playing on. She was actually my original character way back when, and then I server transferred her off to another server in Crystal. Race changed her and all that, but she's been around a long time. But I've been playing it on her as Bard just to try and get tomestones, because it is a very, very easy way to get tomestones, and I just completed the relic for her, so got my Terpander. I don't know if I'll go for the Lux version or not. That's another thing that, you know, I might do casually, just on and off here and there. It's not like a must-have. I like the yellow glow a little bit more than the blue one from the Lux, but I mean, that's an option too. It's kind of fun because, you know, having all of these alts and trying a few different things, it's kind of fun to see Crystalline Conflict in all of the different ranks and see how fast I can burn through some of the stuff. So I got to gold on like a 12-game win streak or something like that, which was just wild. I feel kind of bad because when you're hey, what's up? Yeah, I just kind of stream when I feel like it. You know, I don't usually have a set schedule or anything like that. I should probably change that, but I just kind of throw it on here and there. It's between this and Vampire Survivors today. I was really kind of debating Vampire Survivors, but I'll save that for this weekend probably. But yeah, it was kind of funny playing through the lower ranks. You know, I kind of have to keep myself from being like too toxic in the lower ranks, because when you're talking unranked and like some of the bronze players and stuff, you're probably talking about like literal children that are playing in those ranks. Like, I would have like ninjas try and come and get me as a bard, right? And like they would do a couple moves, and then you could see them like stop and very clearly try and think about what they were supposed to press next. It was kind of cute. So I would usually like just let them wail on me for a little bit. I mean, they're not gonna kill me, but I don't want to just like annihilate them as a crystal twink, right? So so yeah, so I'm back in gold, and that's where it starts to slow down a little bit. You start getting the matches that are a little more serious, and the teams are not quite as easy to plow through, but they're also not as coordinated on your end, so it ends up being longer games, a lot more overtime, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's been fun to go back through the lower ranks, and you know, I've got an alt on Xcal over on Primal, and you know, just seeing the differences in the data centers and see if there's really a whole lot of difference in play styles or meta and that kind of thing. Is it new updated trust? Yeah. I've been leveling through all of the older dungeons using the new duty support, and it's really good. I mean, it really does feel just like the trust system from Shadowbringers and Endwalker. AI is pretty smart. It takes about as long. It's still kind of a grind to go through some of these dungeons, but you know, like I was saying earlier, I don't really have anything going on today, so why not? I got time. And it's just easier with the queue times, because if I wanted to hop into queue for this, you know, server reset doesn't happen for another 20 minutes or so. So there's probably not a whole lot of people queuing right now. And yeah, it would just take too long. Maybe if I was leveling a tank or something. I don't know if I'm going to take her all the way up to 90 as a black mage, or if I'm going to switch to dancer or something like that. There's a lot of jobs that I like that I just don't play enough. I mean, this character's mostly a roleplay ult anyway, so it's not like a huge deal. I'm really just kind of thinking of what glams are going to work best in terms of jobs. But yeah, I figure I might as well stick with Black Mage for a little bit, and sorry about the trucks and whatnot, it's a busy day out. Yeah, I figure I might as well stick with Black Mage and try and get a little bit better at it so that I can go back over to my main and do a little bit better with it. I don't know why. It's not like I'm ever gonna, you know, go off of Red Mage for Kyra. She's a Red Mage through and through, probably always will be, but it's nice to have options. Let's see. I haven't really done a whole lot in terms of like raiding and whatnot anyways lately, so you know, I might ease back into it once the next raid series comes out. I really wanted to try doing Dragon Song Ultimate, but I never finished P4S. The old party finder grind for that one is pretty rough. So far, Black Mage isn't too different from what I remember when I leveled it the first time. It's just kind of wonky because your lower level like keybinds are going to be completely different than what you're going to want at 80. So it feels kind of awkward. But I don't want to change my keybinds up now because I know I'm just going to have to change them up again later. All right. Yeah, I mean, you can see, I mean, look how long that took, and that's an easy boss. So yeah, I mean, it still has the problem of trust not really scaling damage all that well. It'd be nice if they went a little bit faster, scaled based off of how you're doing, but it's whatever. It is what it is. It's an easy queue. You don't have to worry about other players and rush all the time. So it's kind of nice. It's a really good system for doing what I'm doing, which is using it to level alt jobs, and I don't know, I need to transpose there. Leveling alt jobs and alt characters. It's really nice for that, just so you can just kind of zone out and do whatever you want for a little bit. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll. I don't know if I did Aglaya this week, so I might hop on over there at some point and do the raid for this week. There's not a whole lot that I need from it, but I would like the pants. I think I do need some pants upgrades. I think I can just buy them with tomestones at this point. Tomestone version. I don't really know which one's best in slot right now. But yeah, I mean, if the raid ones drop, they're all, I think, 590. So no real reason to skip it. Especially since it's not like I'm going to be doing a whole lot until the next patch. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I mean, the other big thing with Crystalline Conflict is the season doesn't end until 6.18, which guessing that'll be about 2 weeks out or so, or 2 months out. So we've got some time. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I figure I went so hard on it. I mean, I was playing to rank up to Crystal. I was playing probably 10 hours a day, and that's just, it's a lot, man. So it's been time for a break. It's been nice to spend the past week or so just kind of not feeling like I'm going super hard on it. And just kind of playing it when I feel like playing it. It's a very fun mode. I still hate Volcanic Heart a lot, but it's nice because whenever I'm doing it on ults, the pressure's gone, so I don't tilt as much as I was. So I don't hate it as much as I did before. I'll play Volcanic Heart if it's up just so I can get the tombstones. But yeah, balance feels pretty good. I feel like a lot of the meta has changed a lot. You know, there were so many warrior white mage dragoon parties early on, but now that I'm in Crystal, honestly, those parties don't scare me. Like a dragoon, they're easy to kill. Warrior, you can just ignore them for a little bit. White mage is the kind of one you have to kind of watch out for, but they're pretty tanky. So unless their LB is coming up, you can kind of ignore white mages a little bit. The meta in Crystal right now seems to be a lot of monk ninja combos. Monk ninja scares me as a ranged, especially because I'm mostly playing Crystal as a mech. There's not a whole lot I can do. Neither of them do really a whole lot of damage on their own, but they can really bully you and knock you into, you know, really bad positions. They can chase you across the map. You know, it's definitely shifted quite a bit. I'm seeing a lot more Reapers. Reapers are okay. I've seen some really good ones, some really bad ones. I don't really see a whole lot of dancers. Black Mage, even after the buffs, I don't see a lot of Black Mages, but a really good Black Mage can be pretty scary. So you kind of have to watch out for them. You don't want to let them just sit there and pop off the whole time. You kind of need to keep them in check, but they aren't necessarily like the first target you need to go for. Bard is really the only one that I feel feels kind of weak. And it's not necessarily because of their kit. Like, I love Bard, don't get me wrong. Bard in Crystalline Conflict is a very nice, like, fun class to play. But they can't really do anything on their own. Once I got to Crystal, I stopped playing Bard because it was just... I wasn't doing anything. They're too reliant on their teammates, and if you have a really good team, it's great. But if you have a really bad team, I mean... You'll just watch people, you know, run away and escape with a sliver of health, and there's really nothing you can do about it. If anyone wants to 1v1 me as a Bard... You know, I've got enough escape mechanisms that I can survive and be really annoying for a long time, but I'm not going to be able to win a 1v1. All I can really do is just delay it because my damage is so low. So I feel like Bard could use some potency buffs, but they're not a bad class by any means, but they really do take coordination, which is kind of disappointing when you're, you know, stuck with a bunch of random allies, you know. I am curious if they're going to add a team-based ranked mode. I think if they do add a team-based ranked mode, you're going to see Bards pop up a lot more because they absolutely can wreck some teams with proper coordination. The problem is getting that coordination. That's the tricky part. But yeah, I could see them doing very well on very well on coordinated teams. I'm trying to think of other classes that I've been seeing pop up. Dark Knight seems okay. They're just kind of whatever. They're not great, but they're not awful. They're really good bait. You know, people see their health drop down to 1% and then immediately target them. And that's just their LB. You can't kill them when their LB is going off. So yeah, it's a really good bait to distract teams. Gunbreaker's kind of whatever. They're more of a DPS than a tank, which is interesting. But I have seen some good Gunbreakers that kind of realize that they're more of a DPS, and that's kind of what they focus on. And if they can do that, and instead of jumping into 1v5 and think that they can tank it all, if they kind of hold themselves back a little bit, Gunbreakers can pump out some nice damage. So they're not as bad as they used to be, but they're still not, I wouldn't say they're super common. Scholars and Astros are just kind of whatever. They can be really good. Summoners are kind of whatever as well in Crystalline Conflict, but they're the kings of frontline right now. It's way overweighted on Scholars and Summoners and frontlines right now, which makes sense. They're really the only true AoE class in PvP right now. Red mages are still probably one of the stronger classes even after the nerfs, but strangely I don't see a whole lot of them pop up in Crystalline Conflict anymore, which is kind of surprising. I mean, they're still very, very good. I guess just because you can't 1v1 and carry teams as easily anymore, a lot of the higher end players just kind of dropped them in favor of like Ninja. But yeah, you can definitely still, if you know what you're doing, you can absolutely wreck some teams as a red mage. That AoE silence is still extremely strong. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm at that point in the MSQ where I've gotta gather everything for the party. It's not as bad as it used to be. Like going through it this time, it feels a little faster, and like the quests that you have to do, you actually do some stuff. There's actual combat in it, but it's still probably the worst part of MSQ. Getting ready, everything right before Titan. It's yeah, it's just kind of long. Okay, Hellbender. Great Flux, they didn't change up too much. I had to do Hawka Manor recently for MSQ as well. That one didn't change up a whole lot. Really, the only thing they changed was the final boss mechanics are different now, which is very welcome because it was just kind of chaos before. And not really dangerous chaos, like there was just a lot of stuff going on that you could really just kind of ignore. So yeah, the final boss in Hawka Manor is a little bit different now. And you no longer have to use return after the second boss. They just added a little warp. That was really the only difference. You still need the keys. You still need, oh, right, this. Still need the keys. Still gotta go underground and fight all that. Mob packs are about the same. Out of all of the dungeons that I played so far that have changed, that one has probably changed the least so far, from what I've seen. That and Brave Flocks are about the same. I don't even know what's going on. I'm too busy chatting. These dungeons I've done so many times, it's just like autopilot at this point, right? But yeah, so a couple other just kind of, I don't know, just some kind of notes. I decided to scrap the roleplay beginner's guide for now. I'm gonna rewrite the script on it. It just sounded kind of awkward. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like how to do a roleplay beginner's guide without having to rehash everything that I did in the World of Warcraft one, because in terms of like what roleplay is and everything, it's still the same concept. So I don't want to like retread a whole bunch of information in the second video. I know that'd probably be like the YouTube thing to do, get those clicks right. But no. So I'm gonna go through and clean it up a bit and rewrite the script. And then, as always, the hardest part is just getting footage. Thankfully, it's the weekend. I've still got, I think, a lot of footage saved up from when I did that pre-Endwalker video thanking Yoshi P. The little thank you video I did. So I think I can use some of that footage. That'll cut down a little bit of time. Yeah, I'll try and get that done over the next couple weeks. Really not a whole lot of other big, like, pre-made video plans that I can think of that I had in mind. But if there's anything you guys really want to see, just let me know. I've heard the new Extreme is pretty easy now. I might hop into a couple runs of that, do a learning party or something like that, and do another Talking the Red episode. Those are always pretty easy to do. It's just a matter of clearing it first. But yeah, beyond that, it's just, you know, more live stream plans than anything. Like I said, I want to do Vampire Survivors. I'm cleaning up a couple things to get ready for the complete Final Fantasy run. So yeah, so we got some exciting things. I got notification yesterday from YouTube that I officially have super thanks now. So they're like super chats, but you can do it when the video is no longer live. You just press the little thanks button. It's not a big deal. I don't really make a whole lot of money off of YouTube, but if you guys like my you know, tutorials and like the Talking the Red guides and stuff, and want to buy me a copy or something like that, you know, it's always appreciated, but it's never required. But I was just excited because that's something that they had been planning on rolling out for a while, and I don't know if they had a really massive push opening that up to a whole lot of channels, or if it's still kind of invite only or what. But I'm pretty excited. It's good news for YouTube. I mean, I've talked about it a lot on the channel, but I've always preferred YouTube over Twitch just for a variety of reasons. But they always have kind of lagged behind when it comes to the chat tools and you know, just monetization and supporting the creators and that kind of thing. But this year they've had a lot of big plans that they've started pushing out. You can raid now. The raid system is really weird. Like, you have to subscribe to the channel and they have to subscribe to you. So you can't really just like raid a small independent YouTuber, which kind of sucks. That kind of, to me, defeats the point of raiding if you can't do that. But you know, they'll get that figured out. But they have started rolling that out. I think you can do gifted memberships. I don't have memberships on my channel yet. I don't want to do that if I don't have like some cool emotes and stuff for you guys. So, you know, it's something I want to do in the future, but I've got to make the emotes and make it worthwhile to be a member, right? But for those channels that do have memberships, and you know, I watch a lot of YouTubers and stuff, they do have gifted memberships now. I don't know if it's every territory, but that's very cool. That's one of the bigger things I think that YouTube has always lagged behind Twitch on. So yeah, so some pretty good stuff there. I'll enable stuff on my channel as I get it. So right now it's just a super thanks. Not really a whole lot else that I can think of that's really new to my channel. I might try the rating feature here in a little bit. We'll see. I haven't really gone through to try and figure out like how to do it. Let me see these little buttons up here. Yeah, they don't really have like a button that just sends me on over to another channel, right? So I've got to go through and figure that out. But yeah, I mean, if there's anything you guys want to see for the channel, anything that could make it better for you guys, you know, just let me know. I don't mind. I've got like a very small Discord server that I've been kind of trying to figure out how to set up. Problem with Discord is I'm not always around to moderate it. But you know, I've got a placeholder Discord server for subscribers for anyone that is interested. I'll get that figured out and set up some channels and stuff here in the future. It'll mostly just be like live announcements and stuff. But yeah, I want to figure out how I'm going to moderate it first. I doubt it'll be huge, but you know, I try being welcoming to all kinds of members in the community. I don't really want any bad eggs in there, right? Yeah, this boss has changed quite a bit. Much easier now. I don't know if I'd say easier, just a lot less annoying. Here we go. Yeah, so he's gonna do 2 different ones. There we go. And then we move on over here. That's wild. You know, in 10 years, if this game's still going strong, we'll look back at the old Brave Flocks and say, in my day, the tank had to move him. And he would heal if you didn't. I saw the interview from Yoshi P talking about the Nier collab is coming up, and he dropped some Final Fantasy 16 news in there. Says it is essentially done, which is honestly kind of surprising. Like, you know, I grew up in the 90s, and in those days, a Final Fantasy game took a long time to make, and it was like front page of EGM anytime like any new screenshots leaked or anything like that. And Final Fantasy 16 just feels like they just announced it and it's already practically completed. They're just doing, you know, their QA testing and polishing and that kind of thing right now. But I am very, very excited about it. You know, I hope they're a little faster than they usually are with their PC release. You know, I hate console exclusivity. I don't even turn on my TV, but maybe once or twice a year for a new Pokemon game or something like that. So it's kind of disappointing that I'll probably have to wait until it's off of the PlayStation and they do the PC port. But I do hope they are a little bit faster about it this time because I really want to play 16, and yeah, I'm very excited about having another mainline game. I mean, that's a big deal. You know, it's interesting that the Final Fantasy XIV has kind of reintroduced so many people to the franchise, and you know, I talked about that in the in that Endwalker video that I made about 6 months or so ago. But, you know, Final Fantasy has always been around, but I feel like this is really one of the first times that a new generation is really experiencing, like, the true hype of a new Final Fantasy game. You know, 15 was okay, but I feel like it didn't have the same kind of hype that 16 has. Like people will finally... Ooh. Kinda nice. People will finally kind of experience, you know, what it was like having a Final Fantasy game come out, you know, back in the 8, 9, and 10 era. You know, that was always a huge deal. So we'll see. You know, I'm kind of mad at Square right now, since they sold all of their IDOS properties and a lot of their Western Studio stuff. You know, I haven't streamed it before, but I've talked about it on stream quite a bit. You know, Tomb Raider is probably one of my favorite franchises. Tomb Raider games are really some of the only games that I pre-order, regardless of whether the quality is going to be good or not. Like, I absolutely love Tomb Raider and archaeology stuff and all of that, you know. So for them to sell the Tomb Raider franchise, because they absolutely scuffed it and had no idea how to handle it, was extremely frustrating. And they sold all of their properties because they want to get into the blockchain. It's just ridiculous. It just amazes me that a game as good as Final Fantasy XIV and the Tomb Raider games and Dragon Quest is coming from a company like Square Enix. Like, I want to like them so much. They're one of my favorite companies when they're on point. And then they just do absolutely just idiotic decisions like that. So, you know, who knows what that means for the next Tomb Raider game. It was announced they're doing it in Unreal 5. So just like the past 3, and be nice tech demos for those of us with the 3000 and newer series cards, right? So I'm pretty excited about it. I have no idea what the sale means for the game's quality and what it's going to look like, how it's going to play. I don't really... I'd have to look through my Steam list. I don't really know too much about THQ, the company that bought them. You know, off the top of my head, I can't really think of any THQ games off the top of my head. I'm sure I've got some on Steam. Recognize a few titles when their THQ sale happens a couple times a year, right? Where am I going? All right, I'll just port over there. But yeah, I have no idea how they're going to handle it, but it amazes me that the Square had their sales goals so high and like never gave like any promotion or anything like that to most of those properties. I mean, even my parents know who Lara Croft is, right? Like, how do you scuff that up? Like, how do you mess up one of the most iconic characters in video games, right? And somehow they did it. They didn't know how to promote it. They didn't know what they wanted to do with the franchise. So I don't know. Maybe it is for the best. Maybe they should just focus on. Yeah, it's. I'm not gonna do treasure maps too much on this character. I'll do that later. Unlock some of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, maybe it is best if they just focus on their Japanese franchises. Because they very clearly had no idea what they wanted to do with their Western stuff. But yeah, it is disappointing, and to see it go for so little. I mean, 300 million for Tomb Raider, and IDOS in general. It just seems ridiculously low. But it is what it is. It's over now. Not much that can be done about it, but wait and see. All right. Let's see, I can't remember. I think this is the one where I've gotta go meet the dude in the shack and spend forever like killing gabus to find the wine or something like that. I don't know. Where did it... Is he up top? I think he might be up top, yeah. Yeah, this is just it's... Like I said, it's not as bad as it used to be. It's just this part of the main story quest is just kind of tedious. But I mean, this is, I think, like the 4th time I've leveled through MSQ on characters. I've got several characters that are at like 80. I've only got Kyra that's actually finished Endwalker. I've got 2 more that are basically in Endwalker. And last time I leveled to get through the end of Shadowbringers, it was about like 25 hours per expansion, and that's with skipping all the cutscenes and everything. So I mean, it's a long haul, but yeah, even skipping everything, it averaged me about 20 to 25 hours per expansion to get through the end of Shadowbringers. So we're just barely in it. Level 39 now. These quests are a little lower than my level. Let's see here. But yeah, I like the new MSQ roulette though. They're nice, they're snappy. I like the way that they broke it up. Praetorium still feels a little long, but it's not as bad as it used to be. They're all about the same length. About half an hour. Even Porta Ducuma, Ultima, it's about, yeah, it's a good 10-minute fight. 10 to 12 minutes, I'd say. It's a fun fight. It's very fun. But that's it. You know, you don't have the La Habrea section at the end. I still haven't done the new La Habrea. I think isn't that a solo duty now? So I haven't done the new La Habrea. I haven't done the new Cape Westwind solo duties yet. This will probably be the first character that I do them on. I'm kind of scared doing them on a Black Mage, but it is what it is. I'll have to learn eventually. And see, once I get out of the dungeon, now I've got my fire and blizzard 3s. So it's a completely different keybinds that I've gotta deal with here. Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. Black Mage, it's a lot of fun, but it's probably one of the harder ones to level, just because it really is completely different than how it feels at 90, and being down synced just feels absolutely awful on it, because your keybinds are going to be completely different. It's really the only class with the keybind issue as bad as it is. You know, a lot of the other jobs will still feel pretty bad because you're missing spells, but you don't usually have a completely different set of keybinds for it. Okay. Right, Mage Swarm. At least it still feels powerful. They're still the kings of DPS once you get going. Just annihilating these mosquitoes. But yeah, I'll probably have to look up what the actual rotation is for Black Mage. Like I said, it's been so long since I played it, and leveling, I mean, it gives you an idea, but I feel like Black Mage is one of those where it's just easiest to just look at the guide. I think it's like 4 fire 4s, and then you mana font and fire 1, and then like 3 more fire. I don't even remember. It's a lot of fire 4s. That's all I know. And you like throw in some thunders every now and then. I heard their mobility is actually really good now, which is interesting to hear. Apparently Red Mage is actually the lowest mobility caster at the moment, which I never thought I'd see the day. But yeah, between triple cast and swift cast and a bunch of the other tools that they've given to Black Mage, it's apparently pretty mobile. The problem that I have with their mobility is what is the move? Ethereal Manipulation. That one. Because I'm not good at clicking to move. Like clicking on my party members to move and then having to re-switch my targets. It feels janky with my keybinds. So I've never really been good at using Ethereal Manipulation. It's just kind of a forgotten button on pretty much all of my characters. But it is an option, I guess. It's good for escaping or for certain fights, really. Yeah, what is it? Scathe? Like, no one uses Scathe. You can basically take that button off your bar. Freed up a button with a Nokian, so we'll see what's gonna go in there. Yeah, and what is it? Despair that I think is like the... I can't remember if it's Despair or Foul that's supposed to be your finisher for the Black Mage rotation. It's one of those two. I think it's Despair, because it switches you back, but I could be wrong. Like I said, it's been a while. Okay, so now where am I going? Back down to the cabin. Yeah, it's this guy, this cabin guy, that's always the really annoying one. Like, he's just so far out of the way down here, and there's all of these mobs you have to run through. The others are just like, go to this shack and talk to dude, and then go kill the thing. And it's just too much running back and forth. It'd be nice if they condensed this part where you have to like find the leaf and then give it to them. They should have just taken out this middle quest and put it back down here. Just had Dressed give you both of those both of those quests. Seems like it would have been the way to go. Okay. Alright, so now I gotta go and kill the Goobbue. And just my luck, it's right in the middle of a fate. I thought they did change that, but I guess they never did. Where fates would spawn on top of destinations, like quest destinations. I thought they moved some of them, but it still seems to be a problem. It's not as bad as later on when you're in Mordana. I think it's Mordana. It might be one of the shrouds. And there's that fate at the very, very bottom of that hill with a bird guy, and like you have to touch the crystal, and then that fate will spawn right on top of you. And unfortunately, it's not like this fate that's a little bit different level, so you can kind of avoid it. Like that one is like right in line with the level you're supposed to be questing at, so when it spawns, like you can't finish your quest. That one's the worst. Yeah, it's the one where you have to take the corrupted crystals and put it in the bucket. It's one of those quests. You know the one I'm talking about if you've done it. But yeah, I've been mostly playing this again. You know, with 6.1, it kind of brought me back. I'd taken a nice little break for a while, but yeah, it's basically been this. I popped open a new save of a new game plus run of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I thought of doing that one on stream the first time I played. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't. I really should get in the habit of playing new games on stream more often, because it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. You know, Final Fantasy VII is really, to be honest, not like one of my favorite Final Fantasies. I always thought it was kind of overrated, to be honest. So I just kind of played 7 on a whim because I'd heard so many good things about it. And yeah, it absolutely blew me away. And, you know, it definitely had some of those moments that brought me back a lot more than I thought. Like hearing Aerith's theme for the first time and hearing the battle music again. Yeah, I really wish I'd played it on stream. But I did start up a new game plus run of it. And yeah, just going back through, playing the story. Got a couple mods on, you know, that kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. But I am having trouble because I want Bahamut, and I have no idea how in the world I'm supposed to get plus 200 stagger damage in on any of it. Especially, I might need to bump it up to hard, and maybe I can do it on one of the bosses or something like that. But I genuinely have no idea how to get 200 stagger damage, and I have to finish that battle intel to get Bahamut. Like I have to finish all 19 battle intels, right? And I have no idea how to finish that one. The materia ones I'm almost done with. I think I have like 2 more materia that I have to level all the way up. Yeah, stagger is just one of those things that I guess I just rushed through the tutorial or something like that. I know you basically have to have Aerith on your party because she has a move that increases stagger damage. And then you have Tifa has a move that also increases it. And yeah, you just have to first of all stagger something and then hope it lives long enough to get 200. And yeah, I guess doing it hard mode is really the only way to do it. It's the only thing I can figure. So that's my current goal. Let's see. I tried, and I know this is going to disappoint some people. I tried playing Stranger of Paradise. The actual story is wacky and I love it, but I just couldn't get into the game itself. The combat after playing FF7R, the combat felt super janky. I couldn't figure it out. I know it's supposed to be like a Souls-like, but the combat wasn't nearly as polished as a Souls game, and yeah, I ended up dropping it after the first dungeon. they had a side quest to go back to the Tower of Chaos. And I was just like, I don't really want to play this anymore. So I dropped it. As much as I wanted to, like, play through all of the old remade Final Fantasy areas and whatnot, and just enjoy the wackiness of the story, I couldn't get into it. I mean, I still have it. I can always reinstall it later if I decide to. But yeah, it was too hard for me. I don't know, too janky for the kind of combat that I like in my action games. So that was really the only other new game that I've tried playing recently. I can see why people like it. But like, if I'm gonna play a Souls-like, why not just play Elden Ring? You know, combat's so polished in that I really I just prefer it. Yeah, I was trying to do Greatsword Lance was my combo. And yeah, just everything was wrecking me, and it couldn't. Had to fight the first boss like 5 or 6 times, I think, until I got it figured out. It just wasn't very fun. And it's not that I'm opposed to hard games. I mean, like I said, I beat Millennia in Elden Ring. I'm not opposed to hard, but it's got to have some smooth gameplay to go with it, and I didn't feel like I was getting that from Stranger Paradise. But I mean, the story was funny. I was having a good time with Jack and Neon and the gang. Yeah, it just made me want to play FF7R more. So I did. I really need to come up and play some newer games. It's been a while since I've really bought some new stuff. Elden Ring was the last one that I bought, and before that it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months since I bought a new game. Not counting stuff like Vampire Survivors. That's $3. Like, best $3 you'll ever spend. But like a big AAA game. I know Monster Hunter Rise has a new expansion coming out that looks pretty interesting. So that's an option I might play on stream. I like Monster Hunter quite a bit. But yeah, one of the websites that I go to and have posted on for a long time usually has a game of the year. It's just among our users. And last year Endwalker won, which we were pretty excited about. But I was looking at my list because they require at least 5 games, and I was like, man, I just really didn't play a whole lot of games. It pretty much just played Final Fantasy, right? So this year I want to play more games and have a bigger list. I'll probably make my top 10 list as a video this year if I play enough games. It'd be pretty nice. But yeah, last year I was struggling to think of even 5 games to put on the list because it was basically just Final Fantasy XIV. But I'd like to add more to it. Yeah, I might buy Monster Hunter. I really just want Horizon Forbidden West to come on PC already. Like, I love Horizon. But again, I hate console exclusivity. It's just the dumbest thing nowadays. Like, why does it exist in 2022, man? But it'll hit PC when it hits PC, I guess. I can't remember if I can do. I think Titan you can do is Trust nowadays. Kind of nice. It's let's give it a shot. Let's see how long the queue is. Less than 5 minutes. Yeah, because the trial queue just switched over. Go. Oh man. It'll go a little faster this way. I don't really want to spend an hour on Titan in the duty support. But yeah, I haven't really taken a look to see like what games are out right now. What I really want to play. But yeah, I want to add some stuff to it. Let's see. Final Fantasy was my number 1 last year. I don't want to do the same list. I mean, Final Fantasy is always going to be my number one, but you know, patches and that kind of thing, content, it'll be on the list, but probably not number one again. So far, Elden Ring is far and away my number one game of the year. To the point it's not even remotely close. Vampire Survivors will definitely be on there. I know it's very early. You know, it's only May. We're just under half a year to go, or half a year into it, right? But you know, never hurts to start thinking ahead. Go back here so they don't bother me. Let's take a look at the old Steam store. A top seller is a Steam Deck right now. Is the top seller, which I've heard is actually very cool. I never thought we'd have a have another like handheld break into the market and actually do well. But yeah, apparently the Steam Deck is very good and very cool. So that's nice. Like Warhammer, I don't like Warhammer at all. Rogue Legacy 2 just came out. I still haven't played the original one, but yeah, it's all old stuff that's in Steam's top 10. Monster Hunter Rise, Red Dead Redemption, you know, Sekiro, Disco Elysium. This is going to be like a grave gamer sin, right? But I absolutely hated Disco Elysium. Absolutely hated it. And I normally like point and clicking. I think I've ranted about this on stream before, but I normally like point and click games. I've got like several that I could do on stream at some point. Gray Matter is one of my favorite like hidden gems of all time. I hated Disco Elysium, man. Absolutely could not stand it. Like, I know everyone's like talking about the narrative and the choices and all of that. Dude, as a writer, the dialogue and the writing in that game is so far stuck up its own ass that I have no idea why anyone would even try to play it. I hated Disco Elysium. Like, they could have, like, I like the concept. The characters in the story could have been good, but the actual prose, like the actual dialogue itself and the way that it is written, like, felt like a really bad, like, creative writing 101 course that you take in college. You know, one of those that everyone takes because it's an elective and you need it to fulfill your general requirements. And some people that have spent way too long on Tumblr hop in there because they want to be, you know, the next Neil Gaiman or something like that. And then that's what they would come up with. Like, that's what Disco Elysium felt like. In fact, I'm fairly sure some of my peer stories that we had to read for my degree were better than that. God, I don't know. I don't hate anyone for liking it. I can see why it's popular, but it was 100% not for me. Like, there are so many games, like, the whole thing with Disco Elysium, and I feel like a lot of the fan base around it, is that it, like, it's one of those that, you know, shows that games can be art, you know, that kind of thing. You know, it, like, tries to elevate games as a medium. Just play Hades. Like, seriously, just play Hades, which does the same thing, but so much better in terms of elevating games to a new art form. Like, absolutely, 100%. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rant that much about it. Like I said, ultimately it's not for me. If you like it, you like it. It's still obviously a year later in Steam's top 10. People think it's a good game. It is 100% not the kind of game for me. But yeah, let's see what else is on here. Popular upcoming. A couple hentai games, a bunch of indies. There's really not a whole lot that I see on here that's just like I must play. I mean, I've got such a big backlog, and the cool thing with our top 10 every year for our game of the year is it doesn't have to be a game that came out that year. It can be an old game that you picked up for the first time. It's more about not what is the best games of the year, but what were some good games that you really enjoyed in the year. So it's more like a celebration of loving games, right? So I mean, I guess there's some stuff in my backlog that we could play, but yeah, there's not a whole lot that I see coming up that I just really want to play. If Final Fantasy 16 somehow comes out this year, maybe. Obviously, we got the new Pokemon games. Yeah, those are always fun. I need to break out my Switch a little bit more and hop back into Sword and Shield, because I never completed the second DLC. I don't even think I finished the first DLC. I was stuck at a point where I had to like go around and find 3 people to talk to, and I couldn't ever find the last one. It was weird. I never thought I'd get stuck on a Pokemon game. Yeah, I mean, I like Sword and Shield. I just never finished the first DLC, so I haven't even played the second DLC. Yeah, I can always hop back into that. I need excuses to break out my Switch. Obviously, they got the new Splatoon coming out, which is always a lot of fun. I love Splatoon. But yeah, that's really the only games that I play on my Switch. Xenoblade, I gotta buy. Xenoblade Chronicles is another one of those that's like up there for my favorite series. And that's coming out like surprisingly fast, doing the Nintendo thing of going like, hey, we're announcing this new game and it comes out in a week. So I am excited. I know almost nothing about Xenoblade 3. You know, I barely even watched the trailer for it. I just know it's got the Xenoblade name on it, so it's a must-buy for me. Like, that's a no-brainer. That'll probably be my one time playing the Switch this year. 2 if you count new Pokemon, I guess. Yeah, it's awkward, like the TV's kind of in an odd spot over there. The chair that I use to play stuff or watch on my TV is like missing a wheel. Just like everything that I would do on that TV, I would just prefer doing it on my PC instead. So I never really turn it on. But that'll be a good excuse too. I don't have a stream link, so if I do want to stream it, if they even allow us to stream it, I don't know for sure if they will. I'll have to buy one of those and get that figured out. I've never streamed anything from one of my consoles before. It would open up a lot of ideas, but I'd need a pretty long cord to do it. I keep looking over there because that's where it is, and I'm just trying to figure out the length that I would need to actually hook it up to my computer of HDMI cable. But yeah, I mean, that's if people want to see me stream Xenoblade, and if they let us stream it 100%, I will gladly do so. Yeah, this feels really awkward. I really don't know what my rotation should be like right now. I'm like trying to weave in my thunders, and yeah, this is not going well, my friends. Here we go. Cool. That wasn't too bad. Oh, no wonder we had 2 black mages. All right. Now they got Titan over with. What's out of here before he aggroes me. There we go. Yeah, that one'll be fun. As long as they don't do the gacha system again. That was really the only thing that dragged Xenoblade 2 down. I never did get, as much as I played that game, and I probably put a good 60-70 hours into it, I never got Cosmos. or Cosmos, and very mad about it. Like, that was just the absolute worst system. I know people didn't have, like, people didn't like the designs or whatever. I didn't mind them. And again, I've got a bunch of shirt from Spencer's that I wear every now and then, so take that as you will. Sorry, I'm switching it up. I'm gonna play a couple games of Crystalline Conflict. I haven't done a whole lot in Crystal since I unlocked it. So yeah, we'll play a couple games before I end the stream here. Yeah, I hope they don't have that system as Xenoblade 3. But the actual, like, combat, like, weapon system was pretty cool. I had no issues with that at all. But yeah, like, I just can't think of any other games coming out this year that I really want to play unless they do bring Horizon over, which should be really fast. Last time it took, what, 2 years, 3 years for them to port it over. I'm gonna try hopping in here fast because I don't want to miss Palystra, since this is actual try hard mode time. What time does it end? Oh, we've got about an hour. Okay, yeah, we'll just do a couple games. You know, the thing is, I've been talking with other people that are in Crystal, and it's like, sorry, I gotta adjust this. I gotta figure out how to get this in a way that's not gonna be really annoying. But I've been talking with people in Crystal, and some people that are over on Primal, kind of suffering the same thing. It's like, ranking up, it just feels so awkward, because I've got a couple friends that have about 3,000 points, right? And they're like, you know, you could spend the entire day doing 40 plus matches, and by the end of it, because of the way the MMR works and the way the streaks work, you might do 40 games and only end up plus 100 points at the end of the day. Or, you know, it would have been the same thing as if you just hopped in for 1 game, 2 games, had a short streak going, and then just called it a day. Like, unless you are just God mode or just get really lucky with the MMR, it really doesn't make too much of a difference how much you play in terms of whether or not you'll rank up. You know, if you're on a good streak, keep it going. Try and do your best, right? But yeah, if you're on a losing streak or whatever, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, there's just so much that goes into how people are doing that a lot of it just really does feel like completely RNG at a certain point. So yeah, I mean, I've been taking it easy. I got my crystal border frame. It'd be nice to get, you know, one of the top 100 ones, but they don't look that cool. The gold one at top 30 looks a lot better. It'd be more of a status thing than anything. You know, the only reason I really even wanted the crystal frame is because it has the season 1 numeral on it. Anytime you've got something that's got season 1 on it, it feels kind of special. So I wanted to try and do my best. I definitely won't be going this hardcore in the future by any means. There's no reason for it. Let's see what in the world we're doing here. Try knocking them out. And it's been a while since I played in Crystal Rank, so I have no idea what kind of weird stuff's gonna go on now, but we'll just do our best. Feels sweaty. There you go. So I can go ahead and use drill, because that skips your yeah, go ahead and fall back here. Oh my god, the imp. trying to figure out who to target here, and nothing really looks good. You just have no focus right now. Not much I can do with it. Try and get my picks where I can, but no luck. Yeah, see, these guys are just gonna... They're just gonna spawn campus at this point. Just no focus whatsoever. Had a couple opportunities there to get picks, and no one followed up on it. But who knows? Maybe I can turn the tide. I'm gonna see if I can get that white mage down. God, how does he reduce so much damage? I need to actually see what Reaper actually does. I feel like that's not the first time that Reapers just completely negate like all of my damage somehow, even on my ult. I don't know, but I don't really know what their moveset is, so I need to hop into Wolf's Den. I think I have Reaper unlocked on this character. I can't remember for sure. And set it up. God, we're just falling bricks at this point. Yeah, this game's over. There's not a whole lot I can do. Delay as best as I can, but that's really about it. Yeah. It is what it is. But yeah, I have no idea what we could have done a little bit better there other than just better targeting. But yeah. Yeah, I need to see what's going on with Reapers and why they keep negating damage. They must have something that brings it back up. I'm already at 0, so it's not like I really lost anything there. Yeah, it's annoying to see that happen and not really know what's going on with it. I did basically nothing that whole second half. I mean, we're just falling one at a time, right? And join back up. You know, what I'll probably just try doing is, like, if I get a win and gain 100 points, call it there. You know, if it really is that difficult right now with how streaky it can be, like, it really doesn't matter if I play 2 games or 200 if I end up at the same rank, right? But yeah, I like mech. It feels a little helpless at certain points, which I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, monk ninja combos are scary because there's really not a whole lot I can do with them. Monks are super tanky, ninjas are super slippery, and as a mech, I don't have all of the escape options that I have as Bard. Bard, you can do repelling shot and silence and all kinds of stuff. Here, it's all based on this, and because you have no control over how it cycles through, other than to just use your abilities, you can feel pretty helpless sometimes. They do a lot of damage. Like, I love mech damage. When you're firing all cylinders and things are going well, you can do pretty well on it. But it definitely can feel helpless against a team that's super aggressive. You know, that Monk Ninja combo, like I said, they will literally chase you across the map, and there's nothing you can do about it. Man, this is kind of odd. Very surprising that the queue is taking this long. I mean, I guess it's still kind of early in the day, but usually by now, things are rolling. You know, hopefully that doesn't mean interest is waning. You know, they do need to do something with MMR, be a little bit transparent as far as, like, is there a hidden elo? Is there a hidden matchmaking? Like how is it set up? because I feel like a lot of complaints with Crystalline Conflict really have nothing to do with the balance. Balance, in my opinion, the more that I play it, the more balanced it feels. I feel like balance is in a very good point right now. If anything, monks right now are probably a little overpowered. They can just survive for too long. But beyond that, I mean, balance feels pretty good. It's just a couple small tweaks here and there. Most of the complaints right now feel like they're more along the lines of the matchmaking in the RNG of it, you know. And I've ranted about matchmaking and elo and all of that stuff plenty of times on stream before. I hate systems that use the team's win-loss as a personal as your personal ranking. That's, like I said a billion times, that's not how sports works. That's not how sports have ever worked. Baseball has a stat specifically to get around that. It's called WAR. Wins above replacement. So regardless of how your team does, you still have an individual player ranking, right? And it's very annoying that a bunch of engineers and esports are like, well, actually, the statistics look... I'm not going to go into that, right? But if anything, like when you have random matchmaking and elo systems like this, at least in other games, you're able to pick with your team, right? Like, it's not just you pick beforehand and then your team is just randomly assigned. You know, you're able to kind of pick based off of what your team wants to do. And that is really, I think, where it gets super tricky with how this game has it set up. You know, you're not able to pick based around your team and work to your team's strengths. And that makes it very, very wonky in terms of the matchmaking. So yeah, we'll just ignore the Sam there and try and get him picked off. There we go. You can attack me all you want. You do like no damage, dude. Get out of here. Go. Yeah, like, it's, I don't know. It's interesting to see like Sams and stuff going like full ham. Try and just get that slow. You see, now they're starting to target me a little bit more, and not a whole lot our tank can do with it. Where's the rest of our team? Like, what's he doing back there? Yeah, it's the matchmaking being completely random, I think, is what makes it kind of easy to tilt, and there really doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason in terms of like tank ratios to DPS ratios and all of that. It feels weird. I shouldn't have wasted my ult there. That's all right. It'll come back. Go. Slow him down a bit, and there we go. Oh, that LB. All right, we got them all down. Can't really tell who's doing all the work. I think it might be our ninja. So yeah, it feels kind of wonky, and it's kind of hard to tell if there is any rhyme or reason to some of this stuff, and I think that's kind of what makes people upset. Because at least in like League of Legends and, you know, other games, you can at least tell there's at least some kind of like system to it, and it just really doesn't feel like that here. So it feels a little weirder than it should. I guess I'll stay on the point. All right. Okay, I'm gonna back it up a bit. Do my thing from back here. I mean, really, I'm spending so much time ranting that I have no idea what's going on. Sorry. Probably not a very interesting match to watch. Feel like I'm still in the gold mindset from playing in gold on my ults. I probably shouldn't be, but honestly, I mean, it's better than tilting on stream a whole lot like I was doing last time I played Crystalline Conflict. Like, all the pressure's off, so I can just kind of, I do my thing, you know? kind of nice. Kind of nice. Bye-bye. Finally. Used it on the right person after 2 games and like 3 ults. Took me long enough. Here we go. Love the damage that I do though. When I actually have time to focus. I don't even know really how we're doing. 49. Oh yeah, we really need to push it up. Oh wait, no, we actually are winning. Believe it or not, because they only push to 46, so if we can hold out for like 13 seconds, we can do it. Get off my dick. Oh, I'm dead. Stay on my dick. Hey, win by default. Congrats. 103, that's nice. I do like that they do, I don't know why I called him. He did almost nothing. I do like that they scale how many points you get based on the average crystal ranking of the other players, which is nice. So you do get a little more or less based on your team. So yeah, there's my game for the day. It's no sense in trying to climb anymore, right? Especially when I'm so distracted. But yeah, I figure you know, they'll get that stuff figured out and fine-tuned. I don't think they really expected it to be as big as it did, and here we are. Wolves Den is definitely quieter than it has been, so you know, it's slowing down a little bit, but I think people still like it, and I think with a couple more rounds of balance passes, excuse me, and stuff, they'll have a truly good competitive PvP mode, which is nice. But with that said, I think it's time for me to go eat. I just want to hop in, you know, say hi, see what everyone was up to, and just kind of hang out on stream on a nice rainy day. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll pop in back again this afternoon. Like I said, I need to get in a better habit of keeping a schedule and try and do the whole VTuber schedule thing. But yeah, this was kind of a guerrilla stream to begin with, just because it felt kind of blah today, and I wanted to say hi to everyone. But same as always, you know, if you guys like the content, give it a like, give it a subscribe. Like I said, I've got all those new options with super thanks and all that. But who knows, maybe I'll try writing tonight and polishing up that beginner's guide to RP script, get some footage tonight, and get that up sometime this weekend. But thanks a ton for watching, thanks a ton for coming and hanging out. I hope you guys have a good start to your weekend, and go out and have some fun, start the summer off right. All right, so you guys have a good one. Take care.